The term meta has lost a lot of meaning over the years. Meta loadouts, meta team composition, meta build, meta this, meta that, but have you ever met a woman?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Jokes aside, I have a pretty cool surprise for you. Thanks to the Fragpunk team, if you missed out on the Pioneer Bundle skins, now's your chance to get them even after the game has been released. To enter the giveaway, you can join my Discord linked in the description down below and click on the Roll React in the giveaways channel. Super cool of the devs to throw you guys some keys for supporting my channel and content. I'm so thankful for all of the support. But now, let's get back to business. It usually takes a little bit of time when a game first launches before people figure out what strategies or playstyles in any given game will be the most viable in order to maximize impact round by round. And in Fragpunk, it's become pretty apparent that the util meta is the dominant strategy almost a month into its release. If you're new here, my name is Artie and I'm a professional esports coach and commentator, and if you like videos like this, if you hit subscribe, it means that you'll see more of them. Thanks for that. Now on to the video. Fragpunk has been pretty great so far in that the game is rather well balanced. All of the weapons are worth using, all of the lancers have a ton of depth, and there isn't a single lancer that doesn't have their use. And while there is a team comp meta that is forming where characters like Pathogen, Hollowpoint, and Nitro have earned themselves the must-pick designation for any team that is serious about winning and climbing, this video isn't about that. This video is about the utility pistols and their role in the meta. In the Diamond, Master, and Punkmaster ranks, you cannot find a single match where the util pistols don't matter. We're going to look at the impact of the util pistols on the game, what the developers have done to address it so far, and how the player base currently feels about them. But what is the util meta? In Fragpunk, you have two choices of secondary weapons: a normal sidearm, of which there are 3 to choose from, or a utility pistol. These are pistols with the grenades mounted to the front of them, allowing you to have frag grenades via the blaster, flashbangs via the flasher, smoke grenades via the smoker, and mollies via the burner. The blaster, smoker, and flasher all have 2 uses, and since a patch on March 18th, the burner only gets 1. 2 uses might not sound like a lot, but when you remember how the weapon systems work in the game, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Every half, you get 2 of each primary weapon, but 8 pistols. There are 5 rounds in each half, so you have more than enough room to spare to bring some extra utility with you. Not only that, but if you win the round while holding your util pistol, the next round, you get to keep it. So +1 util pistol for every round that you win. Not to mention, you can drop pistols on the ground during the buy phase so that you can have more than one during the round. Still not seeing the problem? Okay, let's do the math here. There are 5 players on each team. So assuming you win 3 out of the 5 rounds and a half, 8 pistols per player plus 3 more for the round wins. That equals 11 pistols per player. Let's assume we're only talking about smokers here. That's 2 uses on each smoker, is 110 smokes per half. Now, of course, it's not all smokes. Sometimes it's blasters and flashers and burners, but you should get the point by now. Smokes last 12 seconds, so assuming you get all 110 smokes timed perfectly, that is 22 minutes of continuous smoke. Now, obviously that's not a realistic scenario, but you would be surprised at the amount of games that you can run into where mid or some other lane is completely smoked off for the entire round. And pre-March 18th patch, it was burners. Mid would just be constantly covered in flames and there was nothing that you could do about it other than put out the fire with the smoke of your own, but then mid still smoked anyway, so... This is one of the things that leads Fragpunk to feel like it can be very defender-sided sometimes. It's a lot easier to use smokers and burners to prevent the attacking team from making progress or to get them to burn through their lancer utility than it is for the attacking team to stave off the defenders in the same way. This isn't necessarily due to the utility itself, but more so because the maps and their layout seemingly don't take util being used on this scale into account. Let me explain, and let's draw up a few examples on the map. On Arquette, there's 4 clear choke points for defenders to hold. A site only has 1 entry, and mid only has 1 entry. This means that if you try to default on attack, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if the enemies are trying to stack smokes. If you want to play smokers or burners on attack, on this map, you need at least 2 smokes in one area to cover off all the angles that the defenders can just swing out of anyway. Tundra, on the other hand, is a little harder for the defenders to purely smoke off. So on this map, you'll see a lot more than just smokes coming through. Specifically, if the fight is centered towards mid, you'll see tons of util being set up since the lane is just slightly wider than one smoke can cover. And the attackers players can more easily set up counter smokes and mollies for the defenders, since the areas that they'll hold from are a lot shorter in comparison. And to see just how widespread this is, you can go to any single Punkmaster player on the leaderboard, right-click, view their profile, and look at their history. In any of the games that show up here, you're gonna be able to find exactly what I'm talking about. Let's look at like a close one here. All right, immediately, 1 smoke, 2 smoke. You don't need to put 2 smokes. You could have, 3rd smoke on the roof. Okay, these guys, see, they don't even know the lineups. They don't even know exactly how to get the smokes into place, but they have the spirit. And check this out. So on this round 5 is usually where you see even more. This is good. Use the hollow point to actually clear through a lot of it. This is good for the defenders because they're able to still clear that and stay around without having to worry about it. But yeah, look, it's re-smoked. This is by the attackers here doing the first smokes, and then it's the defenders clearing it, doing their next wave, and we still just have mollies and smokes and smokes and smokes. It's been 30 seconds into the round, and you cannot get through this. And you can't tell me that it's just Punkmaster games. Every single game is like this. We got both sides smoking each other off. Kismet smoking clear a little bit of it. Molly, another smoke. Another molly? No, another smoke. And a broker smoke. Kismet nade. Kismet scan. Kismet nade. Again, it's been, okay, another smoke. It's been 30 seconds into the round. Broker's finally able to make it up. 40 seconds, this has been completely smoked off. Absolutely wild. There's a couple different ways to look at this. On one hand, this is part of Fragpunk's design philosophy of being rewarded for thinking ahead. That's why you get 8 pistols per half instead of just 5, because they want you to be able to drop a smoker and then switch back to a regular pistol. Or maybe have a burner and then swap to a flasher for when you push sight. But the current implementation leaves no limitations for the util pistols. There's nothing stopping your team from saying, hey, we don't want them to push A main at all this round, so everyone drop 1 smoker on the ground, which would be enough for 1 person to have enough utility to keep a single lane smoked off for 2 minutes. The main issue that I see coming from an esports and competitive perspective is that there's a clear problem with the balance in the util compared to what the Lancers have to offer. For example, Chum gets 3 smoke grenades. They don't last as long as a normal smoke, but they have slightly more use. But you can also feed it to Chomper and it'll last way longer. I can think of a lot of ways that the other smokes in the game, like Hollow Point's Wall, Jaguar's Cage, Circuit's Tornado, and Broker's Smokescreen, all have their own uses and slight differences that make them more than just another smoke, but at the same time, there's just more use in having 4 smokers lying on the ground next to you than Broker's single-use smokescreen. And now that the burner has been reduced to 1 use, I think that it does fall in line with other mollies like Pathogens, although hers is more like a mine, and Coronas, although his is better used to play inside rather than an area deny. But the point is, if they can adjust the molly to where it does feel in line with the rest of the util that the Lancers bring, I think that it makes sense to bring the others down to a single use as well to hopefully bring them in line with where the Lancers util is. But what are your thoughts? Have you found yourself on the receiving end of far too many grenades, or are you the one spamming util down a lane? Let me know in the comments if you or a loved one has been affected by the util meta in ranked. And your thoughts. I want to know if you think it feels right or not. Do you think it falls in line with the rest of the game? And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and don't worry, you'll see me around.